This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Order!
Gates shut. The Nova Scotia Legislature closes to the public following a protest inside during the budget vote.
Power bump. Nova Scotia Power's application to raise rates is approved, but not by as much as the utility wanted.
And new technology is allowing Nova Scotians with complex disabilities to hit the slopes with greater independence.
Increasing clouds overnight, some wet snow changing to rain as temperatures rise Thursday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. The Nova Scotia government passed its budget bill on the same day the Speaker of the House barred members of the public from the Legislature.
As Michael Gorman reports, it's all part of what's been a chaotic 24 hours at Province House.
Call it a do-over.
I recognize the clerk to conduct the recorded vote on Bill 247.
A little more than 12 hours after previously trying to pass the Appropriations Act, this time the government got it done. Tuesday night's final vote was thwarted when people sitting in the gallery broke out in song.
It's okay. Order! Order!
Singing and yelling continued for about 15 minutes before business was adjourned for the night. The NDP leader criticized the government's decision to pass the budget bill on Wednesday.
I think what's most telling is that we voted on a budget this morning without the Premier or the Finance Minister in the House.
Lohr was at the House but missed the vote because he was at a meeting. Premier Tim Houston is in Texas at an oil and gas conference. The government House leader understands some people are frustrated, but he says there are many aspects to the budget.
There are a lot of things in that budget that are very good for Nova Scotians, and, we needed to pass it.
The protest Tuesday prompted the Speaker of the House to announce Wednesday that the public will be barred from the Legislature and the grounds of the property.
Recently, there have been several incidences at the Province House, both inside the building and outside around the grounds and parking lot, where MLAs appear to have been targeted solely to frighten, threaten, or intimidate them.
The interim Liberal leader says he's never seen a full restriction on access to the House.
I think it's just speaking to the sloppiness of the legislative process throughout the session. You really just can't make this stuff up.
Barkhouse says the decision around public access would be reviewed at the end of the week. In the meantime, security is being stepped up. Michael Gorman, CBC News at Province House.
Nova Scotia Power will be allowed to raise rates this year and next, but not by as much as it wanted. Taryn Grant has the details of a decision from the Energy Board on the utility's controversial rate application.
Nova Scotia Power will soon be able to raise rates. By how much is not yet clear. The company asked the Energy Board last fall for permission to raise residential rates more than 8%. In a 300-page decision released Wednesday, the board says the application has many terms that are appropriate, but some adjustments are required to ensure just and reasonable rates. Nova Scotia Power has to cut back its operating, maintenance, and general expenses, pay for executive employees, fuel and power costs, and the list goes on. The total value of reductions is not laid out in the decision. The company has 2 weeks to make the calculations and report back to the Energy Board. The board says residential rates will still go up, but by slightly less than the 8% the company requested. Nova Scotia Power did not make anyone available for an interview Wednesday. In a brief statement, the company says it is committed to improving reliability and keeping rates as low as possible. Premier Tim Houston has previously asked the board to reject the rate application. He's in Texas this week for an energy conference. His office put out a statement that says the decision is out of touch and rewards bad behavior. At Province House, the finance minister spoke in the Premier's place.
Yes, we're not happy with the decision by the Energy Board, but we do respect the Energy Board's independence. And of course, we're very concerned about energy costs for Nova Scotians.
The Energy Board did not change the company's profit structure, a 9% return on equity that goes to shareholders. It also did not order an independent savings review. The Premier asked for both those items. But the opposition say he doesn't have to ask. They say he can and should do it himself.
We're asking the Premier to do nothing else but legislate what he asked the board to do.
We've heard the Premier say time and time again, I wish this company cared. I wish they would be more caring. That's his job. That's the job of our government.
Chender says the government should create a special power rate for low-income customers. The Energy Board notes in its decision it cannot do this without legislative change. It will be about a month before the board will have everything it needs to finalize the new rates. When the board makes its order, the new cost of power will take effect immediately. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
Canada's Privacy Commissioner says Nova Scotia will strengthen its security following a cyber attack last year. The utility sent a compliance letter to the commissioner saying it will delete customer social security numbers that it has on file. The utility will also provide the office with the findings of an external security audit by the end of October. In March of 2025, a hacker accessed the data of hundreds of thousands of the utility's customers. The attack disrupted automatic billing, with many customers complaining about inflated bills.
Hydro-Quebec says it wants to assess the feasibility of connecting their electricity grid with Nova Scotia's proposed offshore wind farms. The provincially owned utility has issued a formal request from energy developers to help it determine timelines and costs for building transmission lines. Hydro-Quebec says that electricity generated by Nova Scotia's offshore winds could be used by the utility to help balance other power grids in the region. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston issued a statement saying the province's plans for its Wind West project require getting that electricity to other markets. And Ryan with us now for a quick look at the weather forecast.
Yes, we got to see some sun today.
Yeah, the sun was nice. The burst of flurries coming down at times quite heavily today. Not so nice. A little reminder of where we are in the calendar. And as we turn the page into Thursday, we're looking at temperatures on the rise. Southerly winds, 30 gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour will bump our temperatures into the 4, 5, 6, even 7 degree range. Now we've got some wet snow initially before the change to rain. This is how it times out. Increasing clouds tonight. Watch along the warm front here for Thursday morning. That wet snow will spread in enough to make things a little bit slick, especially across the northeast of the province, Highway 104 and into Cape Breton. This is where things will be particularly greasy for that Thursday morning drive. And then that change over to rain and then mixing out to a few showers. For Friday, we start mild with some rain and then we go back to a few flurries as temperatures plummet throughout the day. A big freeze up Friday night into Saturday. All the news, whether you want it or not, coming up.
Chilly again.
Right.
Okay, thanks much, Ryan.
Thank you.
A new study sanctioned by the province is looking to improve traffic in downtown Halifax. The Nova Scotia government has hired private consultants to study congestion in the downtown core and make recommendations on how to deal with it. The province has partnered with SEMA Canada to conduct a one-year review of the core streets on the peninsula.
No one particular project is going to be the magic bullet for the fix. It's a holistic look, and that's what our regional transportation plan identified. Some longer-term objectives like light rail, like BRT, those types of things, and then some short-term things like adaptive signal technology, looking at the core street reviews. Could we, who knows what will come out of that, routing of streets, etc.
The contract is worth about $473,000.
3 geoscientists from Nova Scotia are back from a month-long expedition in Antarctica. They were part of an all-women's research team to look at the effects of climate change. And now that they're home, they want to share what they saw with as many people as possible. Carolyn Ray has that story.
A view of a glacier in Antarctica like none other. In the water, scientists and researchers from around the world taking part in an all-women's exploration of the southern continent. 3 of them from Nova Scotia. A breathtaking opportunity to study and bring their knowledge home.
So to be able to get off the boat and then slowly descend into the water, it was just something that I will hold so dear to my heart.
And yeah, I guess I cried. It took your breath away. It was breathtaking, and then there was whales jumping and big icebergs, so it just kind of set this really surreal picture.
For a month, they traveled the western part of Antarctica, looking at the effects of climate change.
The internal emotion of just stepping foot on a continent that so few people will ever step on. So few people in history have stepped on, especially women that work in science. so few have been there. So it was really an emotional day for me.
They saw penguin colonies that had retreated because of warming temperatures and glaciers with walls created by falling ice, realizing that what was happening in Antarctica is being mirrored in Canada's Arctic.
You could see a lot of very recent retreat, and that was marked by like these fresh ridges and fresh boulders.
The Nova Scotians formed the robotics team, and of course, they made sure to launch their missions with East Coast spirit.
We had our kitchen party going on our Zodiac every day, so it was really, we brought our maritime spirit with us down south.
Their role was mapping and filming underwater. They went scuba diving and snorkeling, getting up close to leopard seals, aggressive predators who live in the harsh climate. They studied hydrothermal vents and swam near humpback whales. And on land, they tested whale bones left on the ice by hunters who came through these waters decades before. With the seriousness of their research, there was also room for fun.
Really, for explorers and for anyone who works in ocean sciences, it's the dream.
The team will now spend the next year combing over the data they collected. They also plan on visiting schools, hoping to inspire more women to pursue a career in science and helping younger generations realize the value of exploring. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Halifax.
Chain pickerel are decimating brook trout in Kejimkujik National Park. The invasive fish has completely overtaken the park's waterways, forcing it to cancel this year's census.
If this is the impetus to ask the questions, why aren't we doing the brook trout survey? I mean, the problem is much bigger than that, is that when chain pickerel get into rivers and lakes, they basically eat everything. And we have, absolute ironclad information that shows that.
The director of Invasives Canada says removing chain pickerel from an ecosystem is almost next to impossible.
New technology is allowing Nova Scotians with complex disabilities to ski with independence like never before.
A specially designed adaptive ski called the Tetra Ski is the reason. As Gareth Hampshire tells us, it allows people to steer skis with a joystick, providing a new level of freedom on the slopes.
Valerie DeLong's speeding down the hill at Martok on a Tetra Ski, specially equipped with a joystick, so she is in control of the direction.
Good speed control.
She has cerebral palsy and has been skiing for several years using other adaptive gear. But this technology is providing a new level of freedom.
People with disabilities love being in control because with our disabilities, sometimes we can't be in control and have to ask for help. And when we do get the chance, we just love it to death.
Canadian Adaptive Snow Sports Nova Scotia bought the equipment in December using a grant from Sport Nova Scotia, along with funds they raised. It's specially designed for people with complex disabilities and kitted out with a series of safety features and user-friendly controls.
And the joystick is more sensitive, and I can weave around people, as you will see in the videos, and stop when I want to stop.
Other participants with spinal injuries have been using the setup, which can also be controlled by a person's breath. This Tetra Ski is one of just 2 in Canada. They're designed by the University of Utah, who brought together engineers, software specialists, medical and sports experts, and adaptive athletes.
It's a neat example of a multidisciplinary collaboration where different perspectives come together and simply brainstorm ways for enabling individuals with complex physical disabilities.
The equipment's tethered to a volunteer instructor who went through a 4-day course in Colorado to be certified.
Nice. Well done.
He also has a remote control to take over if needed.
And right turn.
It's changed the entire skiing experience for Valerie DeLong.
I mean, it gives her independence and her freedom and makes her feel like everybody else on the hill.
And the volunteers are finding it inspiring as well.
Our paycheck is seeing the smile on our students' face, and especially Valerie. She's so keen. She's a pleasure to work with.
They'd like to see more volunteers to help more people try out the equipment and hope to bring the Tetra Ski to other ski hills in the Maritimes. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Martok.
There's a lovely look at Windsor. Ryan will be up next with the weather forecast. Do stay with us.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, I dare say most people had a pep in their step today with that sun breaking through.
Yep.
So nice,
It
wasn't
sure
it?
makes you feel good. But then it sort of helps you remember that spring and winter are just sort of doing a bit of a cha-cha, as you like to say.
That's right. And boy, when we look at this 7-day forecast, we're going to be looking for silver linings.
Okay.
Desperately looking for silver
There are
linings.
some, right?
And there are some,
Okay.
yes. We're
We'll
going to
take them
see a
all.
little more sun for sure. Temperatures are really going to struggle here over the next 7 days. Not so much tomorrow, but beyond that, definitely a little bit of a struggle. So we'll just call this segment Silver Linings for the next
few days.
For the next few days.
Okay.
Again, just like we heard the other day, maple syrup producers are loving this.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
There's always somebody
There you
who's
go.
happy
There's one
out there.
silver lining.
Let the maple syrup flow. Have a look first at our webcam video. And yes, a beautiful shot from Sambro. Nice evening there. The sun, it is indeed lovely this time of year. We'll take it. And as we look at those temperatures, yeah, not too bad for today. After those bursts of flurries coming through this morning, temperatures 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 degrees. We're near the freezing mark in through Cape Breton. And as we look at the winds, they have been in from the west and definitely gusty, sustained in the 30 to 40 kilometer per hour range, and we're gusting upwards of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. So indeed a breezy evening. The winds will taper off as we move into tonight, and these bursts of flurries mixed with a few showers, those are going to continue to depart, and we're going to get into pretty quiet conditions for the evening. But then quickly the clouds already building into Maine, and this will all push in across the province with, yes, snow changing to rain as we turn the page into tomorrow. Note temperatures across Canada still struggling for most. Calgary -4, Regina at -7, Vancouver's at 8, Toronto's at 3. So perhaps some solace there in that, we're not looking at our neighbors really springing anywhere else. And the heat dome that has been underway across the U.S. South continues. This is going to break down and should allow the pattern to become a little bit more seasonal for us, even as we look ahead beyond next week. So we'll get there. Temperatures tonight, -1 to -3, near +1 for Yarmouth along the coastline, but generally -1 to -3 in the southwest, -5 to -8 in through the northeast. And notice those flurries departing, and we'll be watching that cloud building in. And by the time we get to tomorrow morning, some wet snow, wet flurries, we'll call it. But some accumulation possible here. Colchester, Cumberland, the Northumberland shore, and into Cape Breton tomorrow morning. That's where we have the possibility of some slushy conditions for the drive tomorrow and throughout the morning. And then we're changing over to rain, and that rain is going to continue. Cape Breton, you folks will transition to rain, looks like throughout the afternoon. Rain arriving, or the snow arriving, midday, and then changing to rain. Highlands, eventually changing over to rain by the time we get to supper time. And that rain will taper to showers then into tomorrow evening. But a pretty wet day tomorrow, about 5 to 15 millimeters tomorrow throughout the day, and then more to come, as you will see. 3, 4, 5 degrees, southerly winds gusting to 50 for Cape Breton, temperatures near 5 degrees for eastern parts of the mainland. We're near 5 and 6 degrees for most of central. Southerly winds gusting to 50 here as well. And 6 and 7 degrees with southerly winds gusting to 50 in the west. Temperatures starting in a similar range for Friday morning, and then we're going to be dropping pretty quickly throughout the morning. There's that secondary push of rain. We'll show you the totals in just a second from round 1 and round 2. And then note Friday morning, we're mixing to a few flurries. It doesn't look quite as snowy on the back side of the system. The front goes through at such a hurry, the temperatures don't have time to cool down fast enough with that moisture as it moves out. And so, yes, some flurries and temperatures dropping below the freezing mark. And how about this? A system just to the south. Oof, but it does look like it's going to stay to the south. That's some good news. There are rainfall totals. So this is round 1 and then round 2. And it looks like by the time we get to Friday morning, we're looking at about 10 to 20, 30 millimeters of rain, most along the Atlantic coastline. So temperatures go from mid-single digits Friday morning all the way down to the minus double digits by Saturday morning. And then we're looking at highs of -2 Saturday. Again, flirting with minus double digits Sunday morning. We're near the freezing mark on Sunday. At least the sun will be bright, and we'll see some sunshine, and to early next week as well, with temperatures crawling back closer to seasonal.
Yeah, those silver linings, huh?
I like the spin, Ryan. That's pretty good.
We're trying.
You,
okay. See ya.
See ya.
Concerns continue to grow over New Brunswick's plans for a toll highway near the Nova Scotia border.
Those in Prince Edward Island, including Nova Scotians who live there and travel to and from the mainland, say it's yet another expense, one they'd rather not pay. The CBC's Wayne Thibodeau has more.
If the New Brunswick government gets its way, there could be a toll booth in this area near the Nova Scotia border in less than 2 years. Ashley Shepard is bracing for the new toll. She's a first-year student at Holland College, but takes every chance she can get to pack her car and head home to Nova Scotia.
going home just might not be an option soon enough. Paying to leave PEI, the toll in Cobequid Pass as well. Like, some people don't have Nova Scotia plates even though they're from Nova Scotia, so this is just another cost on top of that.
The toll hasn't been set yet, but officials say it could be about $4, similar to the Cobequid Pass in Nova Scotia. It's expected to bring in more than $10 million to help New Brunswick maintain roads and bridges.
I absolutely plan to have a discussion with Susan Holt about tolls in OLAC.
PEI Premier Rob Land says the New Brunswick Premier has always been supportive of reducing interprovincial trade barriers. He hopes she'll take a second look at this proposal.
I'm as surprised as anyone. I think that governments are looking for any way they can to raise additional revenue. I don't think that's a great idea. Susan Holt was very engaged when I was trying to reduce the tolls on the Confederation Bridge. That's good for Prince Edward Island, and it's good for New Brunswick. A toll in Olac is no good for any of us.
It's quite a concern to the area of New Brunswick, just on the border side. We will feel the same pressures on PEI if that goes through.
When we see other provinces that we deal with and regularly, such a fundamental part of our trade, implementing some of these measures, I do think that it's incumbent on our government, our premier, our leader, to stand up for Islanders.
I sort of thought it was a practical joke.
Daryl Cole grew up in Kensington but now lives in Amherst. He says the new toll will also impact people in his community accessing health care.
There are a lot of people who rely on health care in New Brunswick. They go to Moncton 3 times a week for dialysis. They go to Moncton for chemotherapy, oncology treatment. They go to Moncton for surgeries. So our communities are very much tied together, and this is going to place a bit of a divide between the two communities.
In a statement, Premier Susan Holt says she's committed to reducing trade barriers. She says New Brunswick is the only province in the Maritimes without a toll, adding aligning with that reality is reasonable and responsible. Wayne Thibodeau, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Coming up, the Affordable Energy Coalition weighs in on Nova Scotia Power's latest rate hike.
The Nova Scotia Energy Board has approved a rate increase by Nova Scotia Power, but the hike will not be quite as high as the utility requested. For more on this, we're joined by Chris Benjamin, co-chair of the Affordable Energy Coalition. So NSP applied in the fall to raise residential rates 8.1% over 2026 and 2027. The Energy Board ordered some adjustments and said come back with new rates, which it expects to be slightly lower. What is your reaction?
My reaction is that, one, it's nice that they've asked for some adjustments, so the rate increases will be slightly lower. But two, Nova Scotia Power still got most of the increase that they have asked for, as we expected. And three, we need a government intervention of some kind to create a truly affordable energy system. The Energy Board clearly does not have the authority to regulate this on its own. It would require some kind of legislation to alter things. And that includes developing a program that helps low-income families, who the Affordable Energy Coalition advocates for. We have a very high rate of energy poverty. That is households that cannot afford their energy burden in this province, and high electricity rates really don't help that, obviously, but what's needed is a proper intervention and program to help households in energy poverty get out of it.
And what would that look like?
So we proposed, or actually by we, I don't mean the Affordable Energy Coalition, I mean the Energy Poverty Task Force, which I was part of on behalf of the Ecology Action Centre, and the Affordable Energy Coalition was also part of. So that task force recommended a plan that had 4 components. So the biggest cost one was an on-bill discount of 50% for households under a low-income cutoff. And it also included arrears management programs where the utility and customers work together to develop a payback plan that has matching payments from the utility itself. And the utility agreed to that idea, as well as an emergency intervention plan. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, is beefed up energy efficiency programming for low-income households. And that's really the only long-term solution, is to help people use less energy with better insulation, better building envelope, and more efficient fuel sources like heat pumps, as a way to cut down how much energy they use and thus save money even as prices go up.
Well, how many Nova Scotians would you say are having trouble paying their power bills? Not just people who say they're really expensive, but who are really struggling to pay them.
So there is a way to measure energy poverty, and that is what's generally used is that the household pays more than 6% of its after-tax income on energy. And 2 years ago, Efficiency Nova Scotia determined that 43% of Nova Scotian households were in that situation. And the rate does fluctuate a lot depending on things like oil prices, the rate of electricity, as well as other factors like the uptake of heat pumps and things like that. So that rate has since gone down, but has likely spiked back up again with recent oil price increases. So it's a complicated thing, but we know that in general, it is very high. There's more than 1 in 3 Nova Scotian households.
Now, NSP says it needs to increase rates to strengthen the grid, pay for tree trimming, improve response times. Is that, in your view, a valid justification for this type of increase?
Well, in my view, Nova Scotia Power has followed the rules and done things as appropriately as they can and consulted the people they're required to consult. But I see the system as flawed because they're a corporation that is given a set rate of return on their investment of 9%. And that was approved yet again, even though some experts recommended reducing that rate down under 8%. So you have shareholders that are guaranteed a nice, tidy profit while people here in the province cannot pay their bills. And that is just a system that is not working for Nova Scotians and needs to be addressed again by government.
So they're not keeping their rates as low as they could be, in your view?
No, because that profit rate is just part of the system. And I don't see the sense I actually don't see the justice in guaranteeing a high rate of return for investors while people cannot pay their bills.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Coming up, Israel and Iran continue to exchange airstrikes as the U.S. deploys more troops to the Middle East.
And crash investigators reveal the second-by-second events leading up to the deadly Air Canada collision. Welcome back. There are conflicting signals on whether the fighting could soon end between Iran and the U.S. and Israel.
The White House is talking up a peace plan, and Tehran is sending mixed messages in response. And then there's what Washington has done. Sasha Petrusik reports from Jerusalem.
Even as the United States is sending at least 1,000 paratroopers into the region, U.S. President Donald Trump is preparing a peace proposal. One has been presented to Iran. He has not released the details of, except saying that Iran has agreed to stop its nuclear program. Publicly, at least, Iran has rejected this plan, saying that it will not allow the U.S. or Trump to dictate the timing of the end of this conflict and will continue to defend itself, and that the first condition would be that the United States and Israel stop attacking Iran. That's very different from the tone that Trump himself presented in the Oval Office when he made it sound as though this was almost a done deal.
But we're actually talking to the right people, and they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal.
Despite the hard line from Iran publicly, there is word that officials there are looking at the U.S. proposal, presenting a counter-proposal of their own, and are open to more talks. The United Nations also wants to see a diplomatic solution.
It is high time to end the war, as human suffering deepens, civilian casualties mount, and the global economic impact is increasingly devastating. And my message to Iran is to stop attacking their neighbors.
In the region, there is no sense that this conflict is ending. Iran is still firing off ballistic missiles. In Israel, a number of them landed in residential areas. Many of them were also shot down. There were rockets coming from Hezbollah in Lebanon, and drones were also shot down. On the other side, Israel has been continuing with its airstrikes in Iran, also with a large operation in Lebanon, where it is both on the ground and launching airstrikes from the air. As far as Israel is concerned, officials are saying that they don't think that this is going to lead to some kind of imminent peace, but just in case, they are also drafting plans to speed up their operations in Lebanon and in Iran so that they can weaken Iran before some kind of peace deal is signed. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Missile strikes on Iran have forced many people there to flee their homes. Every day, hundreds are crossing by land into neighboring Turkey. So we sent a CBC News crew to the border to ask Iranians about life in the war zone. Briar Stewart reports.
This is the Kapikoy border crossing in eastern Turkey, and it's really one of the main points where Iranians can go in and out of the country because the airspace has been closed since February 28th when the U.S. and Israel started launching their airstrikes. As we have been down here this afternoon seeing people come and go, there were quite a few people who did not want to talk to us, saying that they were afraid. Others came over the border and they had their faces covered because they did not want to have their image published at all. That being said, there were others who did talk to us, who did take a moment. One woman, an Iranian, had spent the last week in Turkey. She had left the country because she said she was very stressed by the ongoing war. She needed a break, but she was heading back home today. Others told us, however, that they thought daily life was more or less continuing despite the heavy aerial campaign.
The life is normal. And all of things and all of the necessary is very full. There is no problem in the life. Everything is okay.
But do you hear airstrikes? Do you hear bombs?
Yes, every time.
Every day? How often?
Every day, every time. Every hour.
There are apparently reports that there are negotiations going on.
Yeah. I hope that it will happen very soon and we can come back to our daily life and common life.
And you're leaving now. Were you always leaving, or?
No, I'm a professor in Turkey.
Okay.
And there are some problems for my commutation, but I have come here and I will continue my work.
We also asked people what they thought about whether or not there would soon be a negotiated end to this war. And a lot of people said they hope so, but some expressed doubt. And certainly we're hearing that from Iranian officials. Briar Stewart, CBC News, along the Turkey-Iran border.
A photo has now been released of Mackenzie Gunther, the second pilot killed in Sunday's fatal Air Canada crash in New York. And while the investigation continues, there are growing signs of strain on both airport security workers and passengers. Chris Reyes reports.
A photo of the first officer of that Air Canada Express flight has now been released. Mackenzie Gunther was killed along with Captain Antoine Forêt when the plane they were piloting hit a fire truck on the tarmac late Sunday night. Gunther graduated from Seneca College's aviation technology program in 2023. Meanwhile, investigators are at New York's LaGuardia Airport in full force today, starting with a lot of activity around the Air Canada Express jet that remains on the runway. Crews have been working to clear the debris, including the mangled remains of the cockpit area. Workers have also been on ladders appearing to look in and around the plane. The runway that the Air Canada jet is on remains closed, leaving LaGuardia Airport with just one working runway. That means cancellations and delays continue for another day. Add to that the ongoing delays at airport security, not just at LaGuardia, but airports across the U.S. About 50,000 TSA agents are without paychecks, with Congress unable to pass a deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees airport security. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt blamed the Democrats.
And I hear that Democrats might be flying out of town tomorrow. How convenient and lovely of them that they get to go to the airport and that they'll get to go home to their families when you have families, TSA workers who are suffering. You have people across the country who are missing flights for funerals and for work commitments because of Democrat politicians on Capitol Hill.
Passengers at airports like LaGuardia and Houston are waiting in line for hours just to get through security.
And they're being really nice about it. They gave us water, and people are stopping by and checking on us to make sure that our times for our flights are not approaching.
First time I ever experienced this in my entire life. I hope this changes in a couple days because this is crazy.
Hundreds of TSA agents have already quit their jobs. Those who remain say they're at a breaking point.
The situation has been critical because we are literally, by this Friday, it'll be 42 days since officers have received a full paycheck.
ICE agents have been deployed at some airports to fill the gap. Negotiations continue in Congress, but no indication of when a deal will be made. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
Air Canada's CEO Michael Rousseau is facing mounting criticism for his video message of condolence following last weekend's fatal Air Canada crash. It is recorded almost entirely in English with only 2 words spoken in French. Now there are cries of outrage and calls for his resignation. Sarah Levitt has the latest.
Air Canada thought it had one crisis to deal with following the LaGuardia crash, which killed 2 pilots and injured many passengers. But now it's dealing with another crisis, a political one.
Bonjour.
That, along with this.
Merci.
Were the only 2 French words spoken by Michael Rousseau in a video released after the crash. That's put the Air Canada CEO in hot water, particularly in Quebec. One of the pilots of the plane, Antoine Forêt, was a francophone.
I'm asking him to quit his job right now.
For sure, he should apologize.
Air Canada should ask him to resign.
In a statement, Air Canada defends Rousseau, writing, despite his efforts, his ability to speak French does not allow him to convey such a sensitive message as effectively as he would have liked in that language. The airline is subject to the official's Language Act, and now Rousseau has been summoned to Ottawa to explain himself in front of the Official Languages Committee. It also has earned him an admonishment from the Prime Minister.
It doesn't matter the circumstance, but particularly in these circumstances, a lack of judgment and lack of compassion.
What makes this language gaffe even worse to many is that it's not the first time Rousseau's faced backlash.
C'est un grand plaisir d'être ici aujourd'hui.
5 years ago, after a speech in English with a few lines in broken French, he was asked why he won't answer questions in that language.
I've been able to live in Montreal without speaking French.
Rousseau apologized and pledged to take French lessons. But years later, many are questioning if he's done the work.
It's insulting to Quebecers. When you've been living in Quebec for 15, 20 years, you should be able to speak the language. There are migrants that arrive in Quebec that don't know the first thing about the French language, that learn the language, and they don't earn 10 to 12 million per year.
Since the video was released, hundreds of complaints have flooded the office of the Commissioner of Official Languages. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
Two tech giants have been found negligent in a landmark social media addiction case. Meta and YouTube must pay $3 million in damages to a woman who said she became addicted as a child because of their attention-grabbing design.
Yeses. All yeses.
Trial watchers celebrated the jury's decision that the companies were largely to blame for the woman's addictions and exacerbated her mental health issues. The jury also said each company knew their platform's design or operation was potentially dangerous if used by a minor and failed to adequately warn users. TikTok and Snapchat were also named in the case, but settled before the trial began. The multi-million-dollar verdict could affect thousands of similar cases.
Two steamy television series are topping this year's list of nominations for the Canadian Screen Awards, honoring excellence in film, TV, and digital media. Magda Gabrisalasa has the highlights.
Raising a glass to some of the country's best in TV, film, and digital media. The Canadian Screen Award nominations dropped this morning, showing the most love for the comedy North of North. The show about a young Inuk mother's fresh start got 20 nominations, including for the show's star.
I feel so proud to be part of the show. I love it with my entire heart. So I just kind of have been radiating all morning, this kind of feeling of like, all right, we did that. We did that.
The show's creators are also thrilled that they're going up against another massive global hit.
Learning that we're nominated alongside Heated Rivalry is so cool.
Shane Hollander, I wanted to introduce myself. Okay.
The romantic hockey drama that's taken the world by storm nabbed 18 nominations, including Best Performance for two of its stars, Hudson Williams and Francois Arnault. Connor's Story was not eligible due to a rule change requiring nominees to be Canadian citizens or permanent residents. Getting 2 noms for his work on Heated Rivalry and North of North is director of photography Jackson Perel.
I think this year, especially, the world's getting to see that Canada's not messing around when we make shows.
We're just proud of them, and I think that only good things could come from the success of both shows.
From TV hits to the big screen, the mockumentary Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie got 8 nominations.
Are there any others like us?
But taking the top spot for films this year is 40 Acres. The movie about Black and Indigenous farmers fighting off violent pillagers received 10 nominations, including Best Picture.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There are many more categories and nominees, from reality shows to web series. Who and what will win? We'll find out when the curtain goes up at the CSAs at the end of May. Magda Gabrisalasa, CBC News, Toronto.
Canadian and U.S. stock markets rose today amid hopes of a possible end to the U.S.-Iran war. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, I'm tempted to put the shovel back in the garage.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
Take it away from the front door.
Well, we made a big mistake. We took the snow tires off today.
Aren't you brave? What do you know that most of us don't know? Is she supposed to be in your weather center doing this job for what? Wow, that's impressive.
Just keen, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
Keen.
Keen.
Keen. She doesn't live far. We're not gonna.
Oh, yeah, that's
True, but I do sit next to you back in the newsroom.
Yeah,
I should
that's
know
true.
better.
There was no consultation with me before she made that decision. I'm just throwing that out there.
You're on your own, Amy.
Yeah.
Can I get a ride home, by the way?
Yeah. So I wouldn't take the snow tires off just yet. The shovel can go in the garage, just not in the back shed.
Right.
Just keep it handy. And Amy's going to be looking for rides to work at some point over the next few weeks. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day as we zoom in on western Guysborough County, Kirk Lake near Aspen, and a beautiful shot here from Lisa Burns. And nice reflection there. That's a little bit of ice on the lake, but beautiful nonetheless. Nice big blue sky. Thanks to Lisa for sharing Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. So a few flurries for eastern areas in Cape Breton. Those will depart. We've got increasing clouds and, yes, some snow moving in tomorrow morning, Amy. Wet snow.
What time are you picking me up?
Yeah, it changed to rain as we move throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Temperatures will get up into the mid-single digits, 5, 6, 7 degrees with southerly winds gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. And yes, then we'll get right to that 7 days. So temperatures dropping through Friday. We're at minus double digits Saturday morning and close to that on Sunday morning with temperatures this weekend struggling.
All right, we got your back, Amy. Don't worry about it. The Eiffel Tower is one of the most visited attractions, of course, in the world.
But now tourists can experience it in a more, let's say, jaw-dropping way.
It's cool. It's very cool.
I took my time because I wanted to have fun.
It was really scary.
A little bit scary. It was fun though.
Oh boy, this is a netted walkway hanging 60 meters above the ground. It's a temporary bridge suspended between two pillars of the iconic structure.
The seasonal attraction is part of an effort to draw visitors during low season. The installation uses layered nets supported by a cable system.
The hanging bridge is expected to stay up until May 3rd. No thanks.
Any takers? No, guess not. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.